Imagine walking into a room and instantly capturing everyone's attention not because of how you look, but because of the energy you radiate. What if you could make people gravitate toward you, drawn in by an almost magnetic pull? That's the power of seduction, and it's not just about romance. It's about influence, persuasion, and mastering the subtle art of making people want more of you. Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction isn't a dating manual, it's a deep dive into the psychology of attraction, a guide to understanding what makes people tick and how you can use that knowledge to your advantage. Whether in relationships, business, or social dynamics, seduction is about making an irresistible impression. Think of history's greatest seducers: Cleopatra, Casanova, Marilyn Monroe. They weren't just physically attractive, they knew how to play on emotions, how to create an experience, a fantasy, a desire that lingered long after they were gone. At its core, seduction is about transformation. Have you ever met someone who made you feel like the most interesting person in the room? That's not an accident. Great seducers are masters of attention. They know how to make you feel special, how to mirror your desires and make you crave their presence. Greene breaks down seduction into two key parts: first, understanding yourself and what makes you naturally attractive, and second, learning how to influence others by tapping into their hidden desires. Think about this: when was the last time someone truly captivated you? Maybe it was a person who was mysterious, who left you wanting to know more. Or maybe it was someone who made you feel completely understood, like they saw right into your soul. That's no coincidence. The best seducers understand that people don't just want love or attention, they want to feel something deeper. They want excitement, escape, a break from the ordinary. So how do you become more seductive in your own life? The first step is self-awareness. Greene introduces 9 different seduction archetypes, each with its own unique power. Are you the playful charmer who makes people feel good about themselves? The elusive coquette who keeps people guessing? The passionate rake who makes others feel intensely desired? Finding your natural style is the foundation of seduction, because confidence in who you are is the most attractive trait of all. But seduction isn't just about presenting yourself well, it's about reading others, understanding their needs, and subtly fulfilling them. People are drawn to those who offer what they feel is missing in their lives. If someone craves adventure, you become the gateway to excitement. If they long for deep connection, you create an emotional bond. The trick is to be adaptable, to shift your approach based on the person in front of you. The best seducers don't chase, they attract. They don't beg for attention, they create an aura of intrigue that makes others come to them. And they don't rely on luck, they understand that every interaction is an opportunity to leave a lasting impression. In the next sections, we'll break down the 9 seduction archetypes and uncover how you can tap into your own seductive power. But for now, ask yourself this: what is it about you that draws people in? And more importantly, how can you use that to your advantage? If seduction is an art, then understanding its essence is like learning the brushstrokes of a master painter. It's not about manipulation, it's about mastering the subtle game of attraction. And here's the thing: seduction isn't just for romance. It's for anyone who wants to influence, persuade, and captivate. Think about the most charismatic people in history: actors, leaders, artists, even business moguls. What do they all have in common? They don't just communicate, they entrance. Robert Greene breaks seduction down into 2 major components: who you are and how you interact with others. First, you need to identify your natural seductive power, your unique edge. Then, you need to understand how to craft an experience that draws people in, makes them crave your presence, and keeps them coming back. The key is subtlety, a push-and-pull dynamic that builds anticipation. So, let's start with the seducer archetypes. According to Greene, there are 9 seductive personas, each with its own unique charm. The first is the siren, the ultimate fantasy, radiating an aura of pleasure and indulgence. Think of Cleopatra or Marilyn Monroe, women who knew how to make a man feel like he was stepping into a dream. The siren's power comes from her ability to be larger than life, to become a living work of art. But the key takeaway? You don't have to be a Hollywood starlet to use this archetype. It's about creating a presence that feels different, an energy that excites the senses. Then there's the rake, the male counterpart to the siren. The rake is passionate, obsessive, and completely devoted to the object of his affection, at least in the moment. He makes his target feel like the center of the universe. Lord Byron, Casanova, even rock stars like Mick Jagger embody this energy. They offer intensity, an escape from the mundane. And this is something anyone can learn. People crave passion. If you can make someone feel truly desired, even for a brief moment, you create an unforgettable experience. Next, we have the ideal lover, someone who taps into deep emotional needs and unfulfilled fantasies. This is the person who makes you feel understood, seen, like they were designed just for you. They study you, learn what's missing in your life, and become the perfect embodiment of what you desire. Have you ever met someone who seemed to just get you on a deep level? That's not luck, it's a skill. The lesson here? Pay attention. Listen more than you talk. Make people feel special, and they'll want to keep you around. Then there's the dandy, a master of reinvention. Dandies are playful, unpredictable, and often gender fluid in their appeal. They don't conform, and that makes them irresistible. Think of figures like David Bowie or Oscar Wilde, people who crafted their own unique personas and made others want to be part of their world. The key lesson? Don't be afraid to be different. Mystery and originality are magnetic. The natural has a different kind of pull, childlike innocence. Naturals make people feel at ease, reminding them of the joy and freedom of youth. They disarm with their openness, their playfulness, their lack of pretension. Think of someone who walks into a room and instantly makes everyone smile. This archetype is about authenticity, and in a world where so many people are guarded and strategic, genuine warmth stands out. Then we have the coquette, the master of mixed signals. The coquette draws people in, then pulls away just enough to keep them hooked. They create an emotional roller coaster. Just when you think you have them, they disappear, leaving you wanting more. This technique works because humans are wired to crave what they can't fully have. The lesson? Don't always be available. Mystery and unpredictability create desire. On the opposite end, we find the charmer, someone who wins people over with warmth, humor, and effortless social grace. Charmers don't seduce with sex appeal but with attention and validation. They make people feel comfortable, safe, appreciated. JFK, Oprah, even the most beloved teachers or mentors, they all have this quality. If you want to be more seductive in daily life, become a great listener, make people laugh, and be genuinely interested in them. Then there's the charismatic, a figure of intense confidence and purpose. Charismatics don't just have energy, they radiate conviction. Think of Steve Jobs on stage, Martin Luther King Jr. delivering a speech, or an electrifying performer who owns the crowd. Their power lies in their ability to make others believe in something bigger than themselves. The takeaway? Confidence is contagious. If you believe in what you're saying, others will too. And finally, we have the star, someone who cultivates an air of mystery and fascination. Stars seem unattainable, larger than life. They keep a certain distance, letting others project their fantasies onto them. Think of Audrey Hepburn or modern-day influencers who reveal just enough to keep people obsessed. The secret? Leave things unsaid. Don't over-explain. Let people wonder. But here's the kicker: seduction isn't just about knowing your strengths. It's about understanding others. Not everyone is seduced in the same way. That's why Greene also outlines the 18 types of victims, because effective seduction is about filling a void. Some people crave adventure, others security. Some want a challenge, others want comfort. The key is recognizing what someone is missing and subtly offering it. Now, before you start thinking this is all about manipulation, let's reframe it. Seduction isn't about tricking people, it's about offering them an experience they truly want but might not even realize they need. Think about your favorite actors, musicians, or even public speakers. Why do they captivate you? Because they make you feel something. That's what great seducers do. They create emotions, they make life more exciting, they leave an imprint. And here's the real magic: seduction is about energy, not looks. People don't remember the most physically attractive person they ever met, they remember the one who made them feel something. The one who kept them on their toes. The one who made their world feel bigger. So, how do you take all of this and use it in your own life? First, identify your natural seductive strengths. Are you playful? Mysterious? Intensely passionate? Lean into that. Second, pay attention to others. What are they drawn to? What excites them? What's missing in their world? And third, never give too much too soon. Keep an air of mystery, let people chase a little, and create moments of anticipation. The best seducers don't rush. They build tension, they create intrigue, and they make every interaction feel like a moment worth remembering. And in the end, that's what people truly crave: not just love, not just attraction, but the feeling of being alive. Now, as we move forward, we'll break down the actual process of seduction, the steps to drawing someone in, keeping their interest, and leaving them wanting more. But before we get into that, ask yourself, what's your natural seductive power? And how can you start using it to create deeper connections? If understanding seduction is like studying an art form, then executing it is like performing a masterpiece. Knowledge alone isn't enough, you have to apply it, refine it, and make it second nature. Seduction is about control, not just over others, but over yourself. It's a slow, deliberate game that requires patience, subtlety, and the ability to adapt. And here's the truth: most people go through life hoping to be noticed, waiting for someone else to make a move. But the best seducers, they don't wait. They create attraction. They shape emotions. They take control. So how do you start? The first step is self-awareness. You need to know what makes you naturally attractive. Think about it: when have you felt the most confident? The most magnetic? What is it about you that draws people in? Maybe you have a way of making others feel comfortable, like a charmer. Maybe you keep people intrigued by never revealing too much, like a star. Or maybe you bring an intensity that makes others feel completely consumed, like a rake. Whatever it is, own it. Amplify it. The best seducers don't try to be something they're not, they take what's already alluring about them and sharpen it like a weapon. But seduction isn't just about who you are, it's about how you interact with others. And the first rule: choose the right target. Not everyone is susceptible to seduction. Some people are too self-contained, too content, too resistant. The best victims, yes, victims are those who are missing something. Maybe they're bored with their lives. Maybe they feel misunderstood. Maybe they're craving adventure, security, or validation. Your job isn't to change who you are to fit them, it's to recognize what they need and subtly become the answer. Once you've found the right target, you don't approach directly. This is where most people go wrong. They think seduction is about being obvious, about chasing, about declaring your intentions. But real seducers, they work at an angle. They enter someone's life indirectly, almost as if by accident. Think about it: when something comes at you head-on, your defenses go up. But when it sneaks up on you, when it feels organic, you let it in without resistance. This could mean becoming part of someone's social circle, establishing a connection before attraction is even a factor, or simply creating a presence that lingers before you ever make a move. The key is subtlety, making the other person think they are the one pursuing you. And once you have their attention, you don't give them what they expect. You send mixed signals. People don't fall for what's easy. They fall for what's confusing, what's hard to define. If you're too nice, too predictable, too available, you become ordinary. But if you are both warm and distant, passionate and indifferent, open and mysterious, you create an emotional push and pull that keeps people hooked. Look at the most captivating figures in history. They weren't easy to read. They made people wonder, second guess, crave clarity. And that craving? That's where seduction happens. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Most people think attraction is a private emotion, something that happens between two people. But the best seducers know that attraction is social. You have to create an aura of desirability. This is why celebrities, musicians, and high-status individuals seem more attractive, because other people already want them. The easiest way to make someone desire you? Make them see that others already do. Create a sense of competition. Be seen, be admired, be in demand. Nothing triggers attraction faster than the feeling that someone else might take you away. But it's not just about external desirability, it's about creating an internal need. The most seductive people don't just make you want them, they make you feel like you need them. And the way they do it? By introducing a little bit of pain. This doesn't mean being cruel. It means making someone aware of what they're missing, of what life could be like with you, and then pulling back just enough to make them feel that absence. Think about someone you were once drawn to. Was it because they were always there, always easy, always available? Or was it because they gave you a taste of something rare, something thrilling, and then made you work for the rest? That's seduction. You create the addiction by offering glimpses, not guarantees. Now, let's talk about the deeper layers. Real seduction happens on a psychological level. If you can plant an idea in someone's mind and make them believe it was their own, you have complete control. This is called the art of insinuation. Instead of saying something outright, you hint. Instead of asking for something, you make them want to offer it. This works because people don't like to feel manipulated. But if they think they are making their own choices, their own discoveries, their own desires, they will follow you willingly. Once you've established attraction, you deepen it by mirroring the other person's emotions and spirit. People fall in love with reflections of themselves when they see their dreams, their fears, their emotions mirrored back at them. They feel understood. They feel connected. And that connection? That's what makes them stay. Now, here's something that most people never realize. To be truly seductive, you have to know when to step back. The moment someone feels too secure, the moment they think they have you completely, the spell begins to break. Why? Because certainty kills desire. Look at any great love story, any passionate affair, any period of intense attraction. The common thread? Uncertainty. Anticipation. The fear of loss. The best seducers know this. They keep the game alive by disappearing when necessary, by being unpredictable, by making the other person work for their attention. And finally, the true art of seduction isn't just about getting what you want, it's about controlling how it ends. Attraction isn't enough, you have to manage the after-effects. If you want something short-lived, you exit at the peak, before the fantasy fades. If you want something long-term, you introduce new layers, new challenges, new emotions to keep it fresh. And if you want to maintain power, you never let them take you for granted. Absence, conflict, tension, these are the ingredients that keep attraction alive. So let's bring this back to you. Look at your life. Look at the people around you. What kind of energy do you bring into a room? How do people respond to your presence? Are you memorable, or do you fade into the background? Do people chase you, or do you find yourself always doing the chasing? Because here's the truth, seduction isn't just about romance. It's about power. It's about influence. It's about shaping the way people feel in your presence. And the best part? It's a skill. Anyone can learn it. But the first step? Recognizing that you have the ability to change the way people see you, to become a figure of fascination, to create attraction instead of hoping for it. So ask yourself, what's the next move? How can you start crafting your own seductive presence? Because once you master this art, you won't just attract people. You'll command them. And That changes everything. Even the most skilled seducers have a blind spot, a place where their strategy falls apart, a moment when the illusion cracks. The biggest mistake people make when learning seduction is thinking it's a one-size-fits-all formula. It's not. What works on one person might fail miserably on another. What draws someone in today might push them away tomorrow. And the biggest trap? Thinking that once you've seduced someone, the work is done. That's when you start to lose control. One of the greatest blind spots in seduction is overuse of a single strategy. Have you ever met someone who always plays the same game? Maybe they use mystery to keep people hooked, but over time, it becomes frustrating rather than intriguing. Or maybe they rely too much on charm, and eventually, it starts to feel shallow. The best seducers are adaptable. They don't rely on just one approach, they shift, evolve, and reinvent themselves depending on who they're dealing with. The moment you become predictable, you become replaceable. Another blind spot. Forgetting that seduction isn't just about attraction, it's about control. Some people focus so much on making others desire them that they lose their own sense of power. They become too invested, too available, too eager to maintain the seduction. And here's the paradox: once someone knows they have you completely, the spell weakens. This is why great seducers always keep a certain distance, an air of unpredictability. You can be passionate, but you can't be desperate. You can be attentive, but you can't be clingy. And then there's the issue of manipulation. Let's be real, there's a fine line between seduction and emotional trickery. The best seducers create an experience that people want to be part of. The worst seducers manipulate, deceive, and play games that leave people feeling used. If your seduction is purely about control, with no genuine interest or care for the other person, it will eventually backfire. People aren't stupid. They can sense when they're being played, and when they do, the attraction turns into resentment. The goal of seduction isn't to deceive, it's to enhance, to create an irresistible presence that people willingly want more of. Another critical mistake. Underestimating emotional fallout. Attraction is easy to create, but emotions are volatile. You might think you're just playing a game, but the person you're seducing might feel something far deeper than you intended. If you stir up emotions without being prepared for the consequences, you can find yourself dealing with obsession, heartbreak, or even revenge. This is especially dangerous when seduction is used in workplaces, social circles, or power dynamics where emotions can't be easily contained. Know what you're playing with before you unleash it. And finally, the biggest blind spot of all: not knowing when to stop. Some people get so caught up in seduction that they never turn it off. They seduce for the sake of seducing, always needing to chase, to conquer, to prove they can. But here's the truth: seduction isn't about quantity, it's about quality. If you're always seducing but never forming deep connections, never allowing real intimacy, you become hollow. You might be admired, but you won't be truly loved. You might have power, but you won't have real fulfillment. So ask yourself, where is your blind spot? Are you relying too much on one approach? Are you playing games without thinking about the consequences? Are you seducing for the sake of control rather than connection? The greatest seducers know when to push forward, but they also know when to pull back. Because the real art of seduction isn't just about attraction, it's about mastery. And mastery means knowing not just how to draw people in, but when to let them go. Seduction isn't an isolated skill, it connects to broader concepts like power, influence, and human psychology. If the art of seduction fascinates you, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene dives deeper into manipulation and control. Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini explores why people say yes and how to guide their decisions. The Laws of Human Nature reveal subconscious behaviors shaping attraction and relationships. Even classic literature like Dangerous Liaisons or The Picture of Dorian Gray showcases seduction's role in society. Mastering seduction isn't just about romance, it's about understanding people, power, and perception on a deeper level. Seduction isn't just about romance, it's about power, influence, and the ability to shape emotions. Whether in business, relationships, or social settings, those who master the art of attraction gain an undeniable edge. But true seduction goes beyond tricks and tactics, it's about self-awareness, adaptability, and creating an experience that people can't resist. It's about making life feel more exciting, more intriguing, more alive. But here's the key: seduction isn't about forcing desire. It's about drawing people in naturally, making them feel like they want to be around you. The best seducers don't chase, they attract. They don't beg for attention, they command it. And they do this by knowing themselves, understanding others, and playing the game with intelligence and control. Yet, like any powerful tool, seduction has its risks. Used carelessly, it can lead to emotional fallout, manipulation, or even self-destruction. The best seducers don't just know how to create attraction, they know when to step back, when to shift, when to let go. Because in the end, true seduction isn't about deceiving others, it's about mastering yourself. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, what kind of presence do you create? How do people feel around you? And most importantly, are you using your power of attraction to enhance, inspire, and elevate those around you? Because when you do, you won't just seduce people. You'll leave an unforgettable mark. And that, in the end, is the real art of seduction.